The massive holographic projection appeared above every major city on Earth simultaneously. A being with crystalline skin and 4 arms stood before what appeared to be a council chamber filled with hundreds of alien species. People of Earth. The being spoke, its voice somehow translating perfectly into every human language. The Galactic Council hereby summons your species to appear before us within 30 solar rotations. You will answer for your crimes of aggressive expansion and unauthorized development of forbidden technologies. Commander James Miller stood in the United Earth Defense Headquarters, watching the message repeat for the 3rd time. Around him, his staff worked frantically, trying to trace the signal's origin. The room buzzed with nervous energy as humanity received its first official contact with alien life, and it was a summons to trial. Sir, we've confirmed the signal is coming. From approximately 4,000 light-years away, Lieutenant Honor reported. The technology required to project this message across such distance is beyond our understanding. The crystalline being continued its message. Your recent detection of quantum signatures and manipulation of dark energy has been noted. Such technology is restricted to Council members only. Your primitive species has violated 17 galactic laws. Miller frowned. Humanity had indeed made breakthroughs in quantum physics and dark energy research in the past decade, but they hadn't even left their solar system properly yet. How could they have violated laws they didn't know existed? Furthermore, the alien continued, your species' history of violence and your development of antimatter weapons mark you as a potential threat to galactic peace. You will surrender these technologies and submit to Council authority or face the consequences. The projection showed images of worlds being destroyed, entire fleets being vaporized by weapons that made humanity's nuclear arsenal look like firecrackers. The message was clear: comply or be eliminated. President David stood before the emergency assembly of world leaders. They're giving us 30 days to respond. Our top scientists say their technology is at least 1,000 years ahead of ours. So, we surrender? Asked the Prime Minister of Europa Colony. We don't even have ships capable of interstellar travel, added the Mars Administrator. How can they expect us to appear before them? David looked at the gathered leaders, then at General Roberts, who headed Earth's secretive Deep Space Defense Initiative. Roberts gave the slightest nod. Ladies and gentlemen, David said slowly, what if I told you that Earth has been preparing for this day for the past 50 years? The room erupted in confusion. Roberts stood up, activating a classified briefing screen. In 1979, we detected our first alien signal. It wasn't friendly. Since then, we've been reverse engineering recovered technology and preparing. Recovered technology? Someone gasped. 3 crashed vessels over the past century, not invasion scouts refugees. Species fleeing from something. They all had the same warning. The Galactic Council maintains order through fear. Any species that grows too quickly or shows too much potential is either absorbed or destroyed. The screen showed underground facilities, hidden shipyards in the asteroid belt, and most shocking of all, a fleet of sleek black vessels that looked nothing like humanity's public space program. We have one advantage, Roberts continued. They think we're primitive. They think we'll come crawling to them, begging for mercy. They don't know about the quantum jump drives we've perfected, or the antimatter cannons we've mounted on our ships. They certainly don't know about Project Fortress. What's Project Fortress? The president of the African Union asked. Doc Roberts smiled grimly. Every human colony, from Mars to the mining stations in the Kuiper Belt, has been secretly fortified. But more importantly, we've been building something special. 1,000 warships, each equipped with technology that shouldn't exist according to their records of human development. The room fell silent as the implication sank in. So when they sent their summons, David said, standing again, expecting. A frightened, primitive species to come begging for mercy. We're going to ignore it, Roberts finished. Let them come to us. And when they do, they'll find out why humanity survived every challenge Earth threw at us. We're not prey. We're persistence predators, and we've been preparing for this hunt. The Galactic Council Chamber hummed with confusion. 5 days had passed since their ultimatum to Earth, and something unprecedented had happened. The primitive planet had gone completely silent. High Counselor Vex floated at the center of the vast chamber, his translucent body pulsing with irritation. Around him, representatives from 200 species whispered among themselves. Never in the councils 10,000-year history had a summoned species simply ignored them. Perhaps their primitive technology cannot send a response, suggested Ambassador Tor from the Rigel Collective. Impossible, Vex replied, his 4 eyes scanning the data streams. They were broadcasting electromagnetic signals just days ago. Their entertainment programs, news, communications, all of it flooding into space without care. Now nothing. The silence wasn't natural. It had happened too quickly, too completely. One moment, Earth was its usual noisy self, bleeding radio. Waves into the cosmos. The next, it was as if someone had thrown a switch. Every transmission, every signal, every whisper of electromagnetic radiation from the human world had ceased. In the lower tiers of the council station, where the minor species gathered, rumors spread like wildfire. The beetles, small, 6-legged traders who traveled everywhere, chittered excitedly about the Death Worlders, who had gone quiet. My hive brother trades in that sector, one beetle merchant clicked to his companions. Says humans come from a world of extreme weather, predators, and constant tectonic activity. They evolved as persistence hunters. They would chase prey until it died from exhaustion. Impossible, another scoffed. No sapient species evolves from predators. The humans did, and now they're silent, like predators waiting in ambush. Back in the council chamber, monitoring stations reported increasingly strange readings. High Counselor, a technician announced, our long-range scouts report unusual activity in the Earth system. Explain, Vex commanded. They single quotes building something. Massive energy signatures in their asteroid belt. Ships moving between planets at speeds their public technology shouldn't allow. And there's something else. What? They're recalling. Everything. Every human vessel beyond their planet's orbit is returning. Mining ships, research vessels, even their Mars colony transport shuttles. They're all going home. Vex's form darkened. This wasn't the behavior of a frightened species preparing to beg for mercy. This was something else entirely. On the 15th day, Scout Commander Zrick reported directly to the Council. His ship had attempted to get closer to Earth for better intelligence. High Counselor, we cannot penetrate their system beyond the outer planets, Zrick reported, his voice tinged with confusion. Explain yourself. Are you saying they have shields? Vex demanded. No, sir. It's not technology we recognize. It's as if space itself becomes thick. Our engines struggle. Our sensors return only static. We attempted to send a probe, but it simply stopped transmitting after crossing some invisible threshold near their 9th planet's former orbit. Former orbit? The planet they called Pluto, sir. It's missing. A council chamber erupted in debate. Some called for immediate military action. Others urged caution. A few of the older species, those who had been spacefaring longest, remained oddly quiet. Elder Quill of the Ancient Observers finally spoke. Has anyone consulted the archive about Earth? What could the archive tell us about such a young species? Vex dismissed. Perhaps nothing about the humans, Quill said slowly, but something about their world. Computer, display archive entry. Earth, geological, and biological history. The data that appeared made several species step back. Earth wasn't just a death world, it was a massacre world. 5 major extinction events, countless predator species, extreme weather patterns that would kill most council species instantly. And the humans hadn't just survived it, they had conquered it. They evolved on that? Someone whispered. And now they've gone silent, Quill observed. In all my centuries, I've learned one truth. The most dangerous predator is the one you cannot see. 25 days had passed. The deadline approached, and still, Earth remained silent. The Council made their decision. Admiral Crix would lead. A correction fleet 200 ships, enough to subjugate any primitive species. They would drag humanity before the Council, by force if necessary. But in the darkness between Neptune and Uranus, something watched the approaching fleet. Humanity hadn't been silent, they had been listening. And more importantly, they had been preparing. 1,000 warships waited in the void, power systems minimal, running dark and cold, like submarines beneath an Arctic sea. Earth hadn't ignored the Council's call. Earth had answered in the only language that truly mattered. In the galaxy strength, they just hadn't revealed it yet. Asterisk. Admiral Crix stood on the bridge of his flagship, the Eternal Order, watching the blue dot of Earth grow larger in the view screen. His correction fleet of 200 vessels moved in perfect formation through the void. In 8,000 years of service, he had never failed to bring a species to heel. Approaching the Earth system's outer boundary, Admiral, his navigator announced. Detecting those same spatial anomalies the scouts reported. Push through, Crix ordered, his scaled skin rippling with annoyance. They're using some kind of interference field. Primitive electromagnetic static, nothing more. But as the fleet pressed forward, their engines began to strain. Space itself felt dense, like flying through invisible mud. The stars ahead seemed to flicker and dance unnaturally. Admiral, his science officer called out, concerned. These readings don't make sense. It's as if someone has altered the gravitational constant in this region of space. Impossible. That would require... Crix stopped mid-sentence. That would require manipulation of dark energy on a scale the Council deemed impossible for any species less than 5,000 years. Space-faring. The fleet pushed through, their advanced engines overcoming the resistance, but it had taken them 3 times longer than calculated. As they broke through into Earth's inner system, every sensor on every ship screened warnings simultaneously. Admiral, detecting massive structures around Earth. Defense platforms. Thousands of them. The view screen updated, and Crix felt his 3 hearts skip in sequence. Earth wasn't the blue-green world from their database. It was surrounded by layers of metallic rings, defense stations, and weapon platforms that created an artificial shell around the planet. Massive stations orbited, at various distances, each one bristling with weapons that their sensors couldn't identify. How? His second-in-command whispered. They've only had spaceflight for less than a century. Sir, detecting ships launching from Earth's moon, another officer reported. Wait, that's not right. The moon itself is. Admiral, the entire moon appears to be artificially reinforced. It's been turned into a fortress. Crix's mind raced. This level of development should have taken millennia. Either humanity had helped, or they had been hiding their true capabilities for far longer than anyone imagined. Open a channel to Earth, Crix commanded. They will answer for this deception. The communication system activated, and Crix spoke, with the authority of 200 worlds behind him. Earth, this is Admiral Crix of the Galactic Council Correction Fleet. You have ignored our summons and violated our laws. Surrender immediately, and your punishment will be no. The single word came through every speaker on every ship simultaneously. It wasn't shouted or aggressive. It was stated as simple fact in a calm human voice. Who dares? This is General Marcus Thompson, Supreme Commander of Earth Defense Command. Admiral Crix, you're trespassing in sovereign human space. You have 30 minutes to withdraw your fleet. Crix's scaled face flushed purple with rage. You dare threaten the Council? We have 200 ships. Yes, we've counted them, Thompson replied calmly. We've also scanned them. Your shields operate on frequency modulation. Your weapons use focused particle beams, and your engines rely on antimatter conversion. All very impressive. About 50 years ago. Sir, Crix's tactical officer whispered urgently, we're detecting gravitational anomalies forming around our fleet. The same type that slowed us down, but much stronger. 28 minutes remaining. Admiral, Thompson continued, I should mention, we've been monitoring your communications for decades. We know how the Council operates. You find young species, demand their submission, and either enslave or destroy them. We decided to take a different path. You cannot stand against the might of Admiral. His sensor operator interrupted, panic in his voice, detecting massive energy buildups from Earth's defensive rings. Power levels are... This can't be right. Each platform is generating more energy than our flagship's main reactor. The view screen flickered, then showed a human male in a black uniform. General Thompson was older, with gray hair and calm eyes that had seen war. Behind him, a display showed the positions of both fleets. 25 minutes, Admiral. You came here expecting to find primitives with rockets and nuclear weapons. Instead, you found a species that survived ice ages, plagues, world wars, and extinction events. We didn't just survive them, we learned from them. We could glass your world from here. Crix threatened. Thompson smiled slightly. You could try. But I wonder, Admiral, have you noticed what you haven't detected yet? What? Our fleet. You've seen our defenses, our platforms, our fortified moon. But where are our ships, Admiral? Where is Earth's Navy? A chill ran through Crix's spines. All these defenses, but no mobile fleet visible. That meant ... double quote 20 minutes, Admiral. Leave now, and no one has to die today. Asterisk Admiral Crix's tactical display suddenly erupted with contact warnings. One moment, space around his fleet was empty. The next, 1,000 points of light appeared as ships dropped their cloaking systems simultaneously. Admiral, contacts everywhere. Above, below, all around us. His sensor operator's voice cracked with fear. 1,000 vessels confirmed. The human warships were unlike anything in the Council's database. Sleek black vessels with angular designs that seemed to absorb light rather than reflect it. They ranged from small, fast destroyers to massive battleships that dwarfed even Crix's flagship. They had appeared from nowhere, perfectly positioned to trap the Council fleet in a sphere of death. On every Council ship, crew members stood frozen. They had come to discipline a primitive species. Instead, they found themselves surrounded by a fleet that shouldn't exist. A new face appeared on the communication screen. A younger human male in a captain's uniform, standing on a bridge that gleamed with advanced technology. Admiral Crix, the human said calmly. I'm Captain Jake Harrison, of the Earth ship Defiance. On behalf of the United Earth Fleet, I'm giving you one chance. Power down your weapons and leave. This is not a negotiation. This is impossible, Crix snarled. Your species has barely achieved faster-than-light travel. Harrison's expression didn't change. That's what we wanted you to think. Let me tell you a story, Admiral. 70 years ago, a small ship crashed in our desert. The pilot was dying, but before he passed, he warned us. He told us about the Galactic Council, how you find young species and crush them before they can become threats. The captain gestured, and the screen split to show historical footage. Over the decades, 2 more ships crashed on our world. Refugees, all of them. Species running from the Council's justice. They all told the same story. Join and serve, or be destroyed. Those were criminals and dissidents, Crix protested. Perhaps, but they gave us something valuable: technology. And knowledge. We learned about your shields, your weapons, your tactics, and then we improved on them. Harrison walked to his command console. We knew this day would come. The day the galaxy noticed Earth. So we prepared. Every nation united under one goal: survival. We built in secret, underground, in the asteroid belt, on the dark side of the moon. We developed quantum jump drives that make your faster-than-light systems look like horse carriages. We created weapons that bypass shields by firing through folded space. You're lying, Crix said, but uncertainty crept into his voice. Am I? Tell me, Admiral, why haven't your shields activated yet? Crix looked at his defensive systems officer, who was frantically working his console. Sir, the shields won't respond. It's like they're being suppressed by some kind of quantum interference field. Harrison nodded. Every one of your ships is currently sitting in a quantum suppression bubble. Your shields won't work. Your faster-than-light drives won't work. You can still use conventional engines and weapons, but that's it. This is an act of war against the Galactic Council. No, Admiral, this is self-defense. You came to our home and demanded our submission. You threatened our destruction. Harrison's voice hardened. Humanity has a saying: don't start fights, but always finish them. You started this. We're prepared to finish it. The screen changed to show a star map of the local galaxy. We've been listening to your communications for decades. We know about the 17 other species you've corrected in the last century. The Altarians, who you reduced to servitude. The vegan collective you destroyed for refusing to share their technology. Red dots appeared on the map. We also know where your major fleet bases are. Your shipyards. Your Council homeworlds. The dots multiplied. We have stealth probes at every single one. If anything happens to Earth, if even one human colony is touched, those probes will activate. They carry something special: self-replicating nanobots that eat through any material they touch. Your worlds will be consumed from within. The Council fleet's crews were now in near panic. This primitive species had not only prepared for their arrival, but had already positioned themselves for a counterstrike that could cripple the Council. You're bluffing, Crix said, but his voice lacked conviction. Are we? Harrison asked. You came here with 200 ships, Admiral. We met you with 1,000. You thought us primitive. We've been watching you for decades. Which one of us is more likely to be bluffing? General Thompson's voice cut in. 5 minutes, Admiral. Choose wisely. Leave in peace, or leave in pieces. The bridge of the Eternal Order fell silent, except for the hum of instruments. 200 ships faced 1,000. The predators had become prey. Admiral Crix stared at the countdown timer on his display. 3 minutes remained. His pride screamed. At him to fight, to show these primitives the might of the Galactic Council. His 3 hearts beat out of sync as rage battled with reason. Admiral, his weapons officer reported quietly, their targeting systems have locks on every one of our ships. If we fire, I know what happens if we fire, Crix snapped. He turned to his communication officer. Open a channel to all Council ships. But before he could speak, alarm screamed across his bridge. One of his rear guard captains, Captain Volks of the Swift Justice, had broken formation and fired. No, Crix roared, but it was too late. The particle beam from the Swift Justice lanced out toward the nearest human destroyer. It never reached its target. The beam seemed to bend, twist, and then somehow reverse direction, slamming back into the Swift Justice with twice its original force. The Council ship's shields, already suppressed, offered no protection. The vessel broke apart in seconds. "What was that?" someone whispered. Captain Harrison's face appeared on screen, his expression cold. "That was a reflected attack, Admiral. Our ships use folded space armor. Your weapons literally cannot touch us." That captain just destroyed himself. "All ships hold fire." Crix commanded desperately, but the humans weren't attacking. They were waiting. One ship had destroyed itself, and still the 1,000 Earth vessels held position, weapons armed but unfired. "You have 2 minutes, Admiral," Harrison said. "That was your one free mistake." Crix looked around his bridge at his terrified crew. They had subdued dozens of species, always through superior numbers and technology. Now they faced something new, a species that had prepared specifically to fight them. "Admiral," his science officer spoke up, "I'm detecting something else. Signals from the outer system. Ships are jumping in, but they're not human." New contacts appeared on the display. Dozens, then hundreds. Ships of various designs, all different species. Harrison smiled. "Ah, our friends have arrived. Admiral Crix, meet the Free Systems Alliance." 63 species that were supposedly destroyed by the Council for refusing to submit. Humanity found them, hiding in the dark between stars. We offered them something. The Council never did partnership as equals. The display showed ships from species the Council had written off as extinct. The Altarians were there, not enslaved, but free and armed. The vegans, supposedly destroyed, had an entire battle fleet. "Impossible," Crix breathed. "For 70 years, we've been building more than just a fleet, Admiral," General Thompson's voice returned. "We've been building an alliance. Every species you tried to crush, every civilization you attempted to enslave, we found the survivors. We gave them hope. And now we stand together. The Council will never accept this." Crix said desperately, "They'll send the entire fleet." "Let them come," Harrison replied. "We've shared our technology with our allies. Quantum drives, folded space shields, nanobot deterrence. Your Council's reign of terror is over." The timer hit 1 minute. Crix looked at his tactical display. 200 Council ships, surrounded by 1,000 human vessels, with hundreds more Alliance ships beyond them. His pride wanted to fight, to die with honor. But his duty was to his crew, to the lives under his command. Admiral, his second in command, said softly, "We cannot win this." Crix's scales dulled with defeat. "All ships, power down weapons. Prepare to withdraw." "A wise choice, Admiral," Harrison said. "But before you go, you'll deliver a message to your Council." The main screen changed to show Earth, blue and defiant, surrounded by its massive defense rings. Then it showed Mars, similarly fortified. The asteroid belt turned into a vast shipyard. Jupiter's moons, all converted to military bases. "Tell the Council that Earth stands free," Harrison announced. "We reject their authority. We deny their laws. And any species that wants to join us, to stand as equals rather than kneel as slaves, will find sanctuary here." The transmission went galaxy-wide, broadcasting on every frequency the Council used. On 1,000 worlds, oppressed species heard the message. Earth stood defiant. The humans had won. "You may go, Admiral," Thompson said. "Tell your Council what you've seen. Tell them that humanity didn't evolve in spite of being on a death world. We evolved because of it. We are survivors, adapters, and when threatened, we are the deadliest predators in the galaxy." Crix gave the order. The Council fleet, humiliated but alive, turned and fled. As they jumped to faster than light, the last thing their sensors detected was the human fleet dispersing, returning to hidden positions, ready for whatever came next. Earth had answered the galaxy's call with defiance, strength, and the promise of freedom for all who sought it. Asterisk.